Hello YouTube, it's Scott again. Yeah, I thought I'd make another video. I've been going through quite a bit lately and trying to kind of digest it all and figure it out and process, and feel like I'm doing it at lightning speed, and but then also really slowly. Yeah, I just kind of wrote down some of the notes. I've got a folder that says gender what, and I'm very organized, and that's my way of kind of maintaining control over all of this, even though I recognize I cannot control any of this. But yeah, I just kind of started documenting all the steps I've been taking towards, kind of the more official side of things, with the shrinks and the medical community and so forth. And yeah, it's just interesting that it feels subtle, but I know I'm going really quickly towards something that'll hopefully help me feel more congruent in terms of aligning my body with how I feel inside. And yeah, so yeah, it's been amazing. I've just learned so much in such little time, and yeah, doing it very peacefully with a lot of serenity, and just not a lot of conflict. Like I could fight this, but I already know where that ends me up by fighting other stuff. And it's interesting to kind of look back over my life and with a gendered lens and start to understand all kinds of weird reactions I was having, or just things I wasn't comfortable with, and I now understand why. It's because I had a very strong sense of myself, but I wasn't able to name it or label it or look at it at that particular time. Like, just to give you an example, I'm run with the front runners, which are awesome. If you have one in your community and you like being active, I highly recommend them. They have chapters all around the world. And I, showed up in my female-bodied form, and they were excited because they're mostly men, and I felt at home, like there wasn't anything wrong with that, and there isn't. I felt like one of the guys, right? And of course I couldn't say that at that time, but that's what was happening for me. And they saw me as a woman, and they're excited, and they're like, okay, now you're the woman coordinator, and you will go out and recruit more women to come to us. And I was like, I took it on very reluctantly, which I thought was just being lazy or whatnot, but really, truly, I didn't see myself as needing, I just, I wasn't a woman, and so I didn't even know how to go about recruiting women. And I was like, at the time I identified as lesbian, and I was like, it's so weird that I'm a lesbian, but I don't know any women or gay women, and I don't actually feel at home or a kinship with them, even though I love women. And so it was so confusing to me, and I was like trying to explain this to all my front runner brothers, and they just were perplexed as to why I wasn't more outgoing and engaging women. And I kept resisting. And it's funny that along comes like a trans issue, and I've jumped I'm all over that. I've got a policy, I've got strategies, because there's a whole showering situation, and I was like, no problem. I'm on the phone, I'm sorting out the issues, and now we have a trans showering policy, but so it was funny that I was able to very much do that, but I had no energy or headspace for engaging women. And now, looking back, I understand why that is. And it's interesting, I had a sense of relief when they took off the women coordinator label, because I joined the board here in Vancouver, and of front runners, and they took off the women coordinator role, and we changed it to gender issues coordinator or whatever. And I was like, oh, that felt much better, much more at home, and that's how I identify now. And it was also interesting because I was perplexed that people couldn't see me the way I felt. And so one time I was, even before everything started happening, or, reawakening or clarification or consciousness raising or whatever you want to call it, I was trying to explain to one of the front runners about how I saw myself, and intuitively I just blurted out at one point. I was like, I'm a straight man who likes to dress in drag. And everyone looks at me because I dressed quite effeminately with my clothes and sometimes dresses, and because yeah, there's a whole nother explanation for that. But so everyone's like, whoa, that doesn't make any sense. Like, they totally, went for you could see the little squirrels or gerbils running, and they just couldn't wrap their heads around that. And I think a lot of people just dismissed that comment, but I think I spoke. It was probably a bit of a defining moment for me, because I spoke something that came from deep within. While the straight piece is not really true for me anymore, the man piece is, and the drag piece also, which I find kind of interesting. I do like dresses, and so I've cleaned out most of my closet of dresses, but I did keep one because I was like, well, maybe I'll explore that at some point. Not right now. It doesn't feel right because I need to really focus on the male piece, but I thought it was really interesting that, that I said that at that moment, and this was about almost a year ago, and that just kind of probably got my mind going, and was like a self-determination type statement. Even though other people didn't understand it, I probably thought I was a little loony when I said it, but it rang true, and so parts of it, and so yeah, it was kind of cool that and then other kind of bigger defining moments have been I helped a very dear friend of mine transition through the surgery components, and the histo didn't really register much. I work for myself, and so I'm able to kind of work just about anywhere, and so I was along and took care of them, and was typing on my computer and working away, and it was really awesome. But the top surgery hit me hard, really, really, really fucking hard. I was so blown away. It was life defining, right? So he was super excited, and I was just like, I fucking want that. That is what this is, because I kind of saw the before and after, and holy crap. Anyways, so here do. Anyways, so I was like, okay, I can't ignore that intuitive thought again. I'm not ignoring shit, and so yeah, I've just allowed my little guy free reign, and he gets to dress however he wants to and express himself however he wants to. And, I'm going by the name Scott, which is actually my last name, so it works out perfectly. I quite like that I have. I've had this name all along, and what gave me the idea is my ex-boyfriend used to call me Scott, and it's like a football or whatever sports thing that guys do. Although he's not into sports, but whatever. He just would call his buddies by the last name, and called me by my last name as well. And I was like, fuck, I really like that. Continue to do that, and I responded really well to that. So actually, it's pretty easy making that transition to the new name, because I already have practice with it from 10 years ago, but it's just resurrecting that. And so, anyways, I'm just super tickled. But that then opens up the need for a last name, which I'll tell you the whole story about that whole naming process another time, because it's a really cool story. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited, fucking scared, shitless sometimes. There are moments where I get so scared I have to lay down flat on the floor. I have to just stop everything and just assume some sort of earthquake position where I'm just prostrate on the floor. And sometimes I cry a lot because I think I'm going through a bit of a grieving process. It's a deep recognition of something from way in the past that I'm resurrecting. And so, yeah, it's, I think, a bit of letting go, of putting up this fake front. Like, I didn't even know it was fake. I thought it was being all cute and genuine, and but I come to find out that was, yeah, not real. And that's tough. That's tough to say that and to recognize it, and say, wow, this looks more real. And, the way I'm dressed right now, which I've got a nice new binder and everything's flat and awesome. Like my new haircut. It's a recent thing. But yeah, I think I was able to, dress more effeminately and act all cute and be awesome, all female, full on, because I was so dissociated from my body. I didn't realize how dissociated I was, and I've progressively healed from all kinds of other stuff in my past, and so I'm getting more and more in tune with my body, and as that happens, there's certain things I can't ignore anymore. Like, they're very real, and I have, as I said before, like a deep recognition. And part of my gender journey, even before I was conscious of it, is that I started losing a lot of weight because I started running again. I got fit, and I was like about 30 pounds overweight. It's not that much weight, but it's more than I've had in the past. So I started running, and the more I ran, the more my figure looked. Because, I started getting rid of curves, and obviously my boobs really went down. They were quite big. And I think when I was a little bit overweight, I was so dissociated that I could just do about anything with my body. I could, it was like a doll that I just kind of dressed and, I had fun with. And I was like, oh, let's put this on. And, it's like, didn't even know that because it wasn't my body. So I could do stuff with it that I can't do anymore. Like, I put on all this girly stuff, and I'm just like, nope. So I had to clear out my whole closet, and that's unfortunate because that's a costly piece to repurchase. So I only have like 3 or 4 things. So and I rotate those, and it's like, well, it's not too interesting, but at least it rings true. Yeah. So that's interesting that kind of got the ball rolling, is getting fit and seeing more, especially around my top piece, like that. Even before the whole thing with my friend and seeing his top surgery results, I was looking at side profiles of myself, and I was like, oh, my boobs are almost gone, and like really getting excited about that. And I've got to be careful now because obviously, I continue to run 6 times a week, and I can take things too far, and I get anxiety when I don't exercise because I know, like, I feel like my boobs are going to come back and like be these monster things, and I'm like, and so, I gotta manage that. So my dysphoria plays itself out in interesting ways, and anyways, I'll figure that out. Binder helps to a certain extent, but I know that top surgery would provide kind of the real deal around that piece. But anyways, there's so much more I could share, but I'm gonna keep it short. There's plenty more videos that I can make. So anyways, I'm excited, and this is gonna be an evolving process, and I can't wait to see how it'll unfold, and I get to explore who I really am, and really live into that and show that to other people. And yeah, and then it's really cool that we've got this like trans man, male, whatever, YouTube community where we can share each other's experiences, and it helps me to hear what other people are talking about, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's totally what I experienced, and I didn't even know, and so that's really, really, really helpful to help piece it all together and get to some sort of greater understanding. So I'm really thankful for everybody's input that I've surfed and explored and listened to hours and hours. So yeah, at some point I'll get some work done. Anyways, yeah, I'll post more later.